Never let anybody see you sweat. So I was born in New York City, and I lived there until I was 8 years old. I realized that I was a much better talker than I was a listener. I don't know what to say, I just don't like what you're saying.
Sorry, Your Honor.
I ended up going to law school at Georgetown, and I was a prosecutor for Janet Reno. I loved it because it was so raw. Were you cheating on her?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All rise.
Our show will be a mixture of education, I think you're misreading the law a little bit, and entertainment. My main goal is justice and the law. That's been my legacy, and the legacy I hope to continue into the future with the show.
Nicole and Sebastian Lopez claim their dream wedding was ruined because his twins weren't there. Linda Ramirez says maybe the wedding shouldn't have been on her birthday. Ms. Ramirez is countersuing for $300.
Mr. and Mrs. Lopez, you are suing Ms. Ramirez, the mother of your twins, Mr. Lopez, because according to you, it's her fault that the twins missed your wedding. I'm so sorry about that. And you are counterclaiming against them $300 for missing a full day of work.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear from you, Mr. Lopez.
Your Honor, I'm suing the mother of my twins. I feel that she purposely had them miss our wedding date just because, you know, she's upset, she's jealous of my new wife, and so I'm suing her to recover.
Were you two actually married?
We were not.
Okay. How long were you together?
We were together for about 5 years.
Okay. And did she want to get married, or nobody cared?
Personally, I felt that she did. Her and her family gave me constant pressure when they were going to ask me to marry her.
How long ago did you and the defendant break up?
About 3 years ago.
3 years ago. And how much later did you start dating your co-plaintiff, your spouse?
2.5 years.
All right. And how soon did you decide you were going to get married? How quickly was the decision?
3 months.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you planned the wedding for how far down the road?
About a month.
Okay.
1 to 2 months.
So 4 months after meeting her, you're marrying her, and you wouldn't marry her.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to get the vibe.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So now, the weekend of your wedding happened to be what, Ms. Ramirez?
My birthday weekend when I had the kids.
Okay. Has this been an acrimonious, a bitter divorce, a bitter breakup between you guys?
I would say not until he brought this new woman in his life, because he introduced the kids after only knowing her for a month, and I didn't appreciate that.
Okay. Had you two ever talked about that beforehand, or no?
About bringing new kids around
about bringing a new girlfriend around the kids.
We did.
And what was the discussion you'd had? I mean, had you two agreed that it would have to be, a several-month relationship before doing it, or?
Definitely.
Because I don't find people. I happen to agree with you, but I don't think people think things through.
No.
Like, I don't have faith in humanity thinking things through.
Absolutely
so
not.
I'm having a hard time thinking you two agreed to that beforehand. But how old are the twins?
They're 6 years old.
And a boy and girl?
Boy and a girl.
Very efficient. All right, so he calls you and he calls you or texts you? How did he communicate with you?
He texted me.
All right, and he tells you, I'm going to get married. I'm getting married on your birthday weekend. He probably doesn't say it that way. This is the weekend I'm getting married. I know the kids are, in your care. What does he say? Do you have the text between
Yes.
you two? Let me see that.
Actually, no, we don't have the text for that. My mistake. We have the text for something else.
What text do you have? I'd like to see.
We have the text about when I was leading to our.
Okay, let's see those. Let's see those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are.
Okay, let me ask you this. He texts you and says he wants the children that weekend for his wedding. The wedding was going to be on what? A Sunday?
Sunday, June 4th.
Okay. Out of curiosity, how did it end up being the same day as her birthday weekend that was her weekend and not your weekend?
Both our parents were here from out of the country, visiting, and we just thought that it'd be the right chance for both families to be together and have a good weekend.
Okay. All right. So you reach out to her and you say what?
I told her I was getting married and it was going to be her birthday weekend. I knew her and the girls.
And you did this by text?
I did it by text. I was busy at work.
Oh, so busy that I have to let the woman I wouldn't marry, who's the mother of my twins, know through text that I'm getting married. Dude, seriously? I mean, have a little class, right?
Oh, it's easy when you talk to Siri.
Yeah, I know it's super easy. You know what's also? I mean, just because something is easy, it doesn't mean that it's right.
Coming up on Justice for the People.
We didn't make the flight.
Why?
We were late to the flight. There was things that were out of my control. I
Like
did
what?
everything I could to get to the
Well,
flight.
like what? That's a conclusion on your part. I want to see if you did everything you could.
I did.
No, I don't want to hear you repeat yourself. I want to hear why you were late. What caused you to be late?
There was a lot of traffic on the way to the airport.
In my day, if we told somebody I'll meet you under the tree at 3 o'clock, guess where you had to be at 3 o'clock? Under the tree.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Nicole and Sebastian Lopez, who are suing Linda Ramirez for not bringing his kids to their wedding.
Who broke up with who here, of the two of you?
I broke up with him.
Right, so, but even in that situation, you may think nothing matters to her, but something might matter to her. Had she been good about switching weekends before this at any time, or you'd never asked her before?
We've never asked before.
Okay.
No.
Did you two get along after you split up?
Yeah.
For the most part, yes.
All right, so you ask her and she says, no problem. She had to fly them in from, because you were where? You were you flew out for a vacation.
Yes, we flew out for a vacation that I actually rearranged to accommodate him and his wedding trip. And I told him from the beginning that I was changing it as well. I said, okay, I will accommodate you.
So what were you going to do? You were on a vacation.
Yes.
You had taken a trip with the kids, and you were
Yes.
going to come back Saturday night.
Saturday night, yes.
When was your birthday proper? Saturday?
Saturday. And I told him
So the plan is, yes, you can have the kids. I will come back Saturday night, and your wedding will be Sunday. Everything will be fine. That's the plan,
Yes.
right? Okay, what happened?
we didn't make the flight.
Why?
We were late to the flight. There was things that were out of my control. I
Like
did
what?
everything I could to get to the
Well,
flight.
like what? That's a conclusion on your part. I want to see if you did everything you could.
I did.
No, I don't want to hear you repeat yourself. I want to hear why you were late. What caused you to be late?
There was a lot of traffic on the way to the airport.
Was that a surprise?
I don't live in Carlsbad, California, so yes, it was a surprise. I live in Huntsville, Alabama.
Well, had you ever tried to figure out how much traffic there would be? Like, you know, because nowadays you can just put it right into that appendage of your, that other arm, that other hand. You
Where
could just
there
go
were-
like this and it'll tell you how much time it'll take in traffic.
There were other things that were
In
out
my
of
day, if we told somebody I'll meet you under the tree at 3 o'clock, guess where you had to be at 3 o'clock? Under the tree, you know? But now, there's no reason to be late because you know what traffic will be like. There is an actual app that tells you how long it's gonna take you to get there.
Well, we took an Uber to the airport, and there was things that were out of control. One of my kids was having a tantrum. I was dealing with that. We were stuck in traffic, and there was a terrible accident. I could have called him and said, we're not going to make it, but I still had every intention on making that flight.
Okay,
I
so
did my
you missed the
best.
flight by how much?
We missed the flight by about 10 minutes.
Your Honor, if I may, she's
Yeah.
constantly late. That's always been a recurring thing from the beginning of our relationship. It's 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there. It's not a text till 30 to 45 minutes after she's late to say, hey, I'm running behind. So after she had missed that flight, it wasn't until 30 minutes that she called me and said, she texted me, excuse me. And
We
said,
have to take the first flight out tomorrow morning. I'll give you details as soon as I get them. What happened? Call me. Answer my call. Give me a second. I'm trying to figure things out. So did you take the first flight out in the morning?
We tried to, but there were only 2 seats available, and I just did not feel comfortable letting my twins flying by themselves.
Okay. That I don't blame you, but the next flight after that was at what time?
It was at 9 a.m. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
9 a.m.? And then you got back then at what time? too late for the wedding.
Too late for the wedding.
So your children missed your wedding
Yes, Your
because
Honor.
she didn't make it on time when she said she would.
Yes.
Let me ask you, Ms. Lopez, how is your relationship with her, or you don't have a relationship with her?
I would like to have more of a relationship with her. I come from divorced parents, and so I understand how important it is for children to see a family as a unit, regardless of how we feel about each other. Even if I didn't like her, which isn't the case, I have nothing against her. She's a mother of children that I would love to be a wonderful stepmother to. And so, you know, I've met her a few times during pickups and drop-offs, but it's never been more than like, hey, you know, the twins ate at 12 or, you know, something like that. But other than that, you know,
Have you kind of tried and she's not interested, or?
I feel hesitation on her part. I have tried inviting her. You know, we share the birthdays for the twins, and I've tried, hey, you know, I'm thinking of getting this kind of cake. You know, what else can I help with, et cetera? And she's like, I got it. Or, you know, she'll ignore my texts or leave me on red, or she won't answer my calls. And so I have to go through him. And like he said, he's busy, you know, and, you know, if I have the time to do it, I want to. And it's just not
Do you have
happening.
anything against her?
No, I have nothing against his
Good.
wife.
Because let me tell you a couple things, okay? You love your children?
Yes, deeply.
You love your children?
Yes, ma'am.
You love their children?
I love them.
That's the best. What children need is a lot of love. And the more people who love your children, the better. And if someone's going to spend a whole lot of time with your children, you want that person to love your children, right? You don't have to be her best friend. You know, I don't know, you know, you can pick and choose who your friends are. But it is a really good idea for the children if you two at some point are able to be good with each other. And you don't do it because you need another friend. You don't need to go shopping with her and, you know, and paint your nails together or anything. You don't have to have a sleepover. You just do it for the children, right? Because if they feel more love, the more they're loved. And they'll end up loving her and they'll want you to love her. So unless there's some reason not to that I can't glean in this courtroom, because you both seem lovely, hopefully that's the way it will work out.
Coming up,
By the way, did he even acknowledge it was your birthday weekend, or no?
He did not.
Yeah,
He did not.
smooth. That makes the text even worse. All right.
this is Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Nicole and Sebastian Lopez, who are suing Linda Ramirez for not bringing his kids to their wedding.
Ms. Ramirez, thanks to you being late and not making that flight, which the answer to, oh, I couldn't help it, there was traffic, is not that impressive. Because really, just leave earlier, because it's kind of important. I get the impression that you felt that this wedding shouldn't be on your weekend, and this wedding shouldn't make you travel on your birthday. And that maybe you had no plan to get them there in time and over to that wedding.
That was not my plan. I even rescheduled our mommy and twin trip. And I even tried to get us out the next morning. I did try.
So
my
why
best.
don't you owe them, they're suing for, can I see the receipt for the rental?
Thank you.
They're suing for the cost of the little tuxedo and the little white dress and the dress shoes for the rental costs, which came out to $543.91. They're not suing for $10,000 in emotional pain and suffering. They're suing just for what they couldn't even use thanks to not making the flight. What's your response to that?
It was not my wedding, and I should have no part in contributing to it, and it was not my fault.
Here's where the problem lies, okay? If he calls you or texts you and says, I'm getting married, it's this weekend, it's your weekend. By the way, did he even acknowledge it was your birthday weekend, or no?
He did not.
Yeah,
He did not.
smooth. That makes the text even worse. All right.
Coming up,
You keep saying, oh, it's not my fault. Do you have a shred of proof in your possession that there was some horrible 10-car accident on the highway? Because you're late a lot. So do you have any evidence of why you were late?
this is Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Nicole and Sebastian Lopez, who are suing Linda Ramirez for not bringing his kids to their wedding.
You have to pick a lane, girl. You're either going to say, no, it's my weekend, which I don't advise, but I'm just saying. Or you're going to say, yes, I'm going to get them back for your wedding. And when you pick a lane, you got to stay in your lane, you see? He could go to court and tell, a judge. Was there ever a family case between you guys, or it's never even reached that part?
No, it's never got to that
Right,
point.
so
Never
the
got to that
agreement that
point.
you talk about, my weekend, your weekend, is just your self-imposed one. All right, so if you say, no, I'm not going to give them to you, he could create a family case, and he could ask a judge to intervene. That's what family court is there for. But he doesn't think he has to because you agreed. You did the right, correct, nice thing and said, all right, hey, you're inconveniencing me, but I'll do it, That's called a promise. Not a contract, but a promise, okay? But now, based on your promise, that side gave up certain things. One, going to a court of law to enforce it. Two, they went out and spent money on little costumes for the kid, little costumes
Outfits.
for the kids, wedding clothes for the kids, and wedding shoes for the kids. Based on your promise, okay? So now they're in court, and you're like, this isn't my wedding. What should I have to pay for it? I didn't obligate myself to pay for it. No, you're right. You don't have a contractual obligation to pay for it, but there's a concept in the law called promissory estoppel. And that means that in this world, when you say something to someone and they go out and detrimentally rely on what you said and spend money, and it's foreseeable that they're going to spend money and do certain things based on your promise, you got to keep your promise. And if you don't, you may be liable to them for what they're out based on you breaking your promise.
Judge Milian's verdict when justice for the people returns. This is Justice for the People with Judge Milian.
You keep saying, oh, it's not my fault. Do you have a shred of proof in your possession that there was some horrible 10-car accident on the highway? Because evidence kind of, your prior behavior is that you're late a lot. So do you have any evidence of why you were late? Anything other than your flapping gums? Just your gums, right? Okay. Try harder. If it's important to you, you would have tried harder. I don't think you tried as hard as you could because I think that it really bothered you that it was your birthday weekend and it was your weekend with the kids. But you don't get to choose both lanes. You're either going to be the good guy who says yes, or you're going to be the person who arrives at the airport 2 hours before a domestic flight. Pick, okay? I am ruling in your favor in the amount of the $543.91 that the rental cost you. Your counterclaim for, I guess, wasting a day of work today to come to court, 0. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
All rise.
Judge Milian has ruled in favor of the co-plaintiffs. The defendant owes $543.91.
At the end of the day, I think the judge made the right choice. Definitely siding with us. Makes us feel really good.
I hope next time she'll communicate better and it won't have to come to this again.
This is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to pay him any money. It is not my fault.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.